The 1 seed in the West seems locked up with OKC holding an 8-game lead, but the race behind them is tight. So according to ESPN Analytics, OKC and the Grizzlies have the highest chance to reach the conference finals. All right, Shay, let's dive in on this one. What team has the most to prove the rest of the way?
Well, for me personally, I would tell you.
Shannon.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead, Shannon. My bad.
No, go ahead, Stephen A. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can go.
I would tell you. Listen, when you talk about the most to prove, I would say the Golden State Warriors because Draymond Green just opened his mouth. I'm not put off by it by any stretch of the imagination. I love the fact that he did it. He's made the latter part of this season, the last 27 games, very, very interesting because Jimmy Butler has been a welcomed addition. The 3-1 in the 4 games that he's been there. He's gotten to the free throw line 40 times. And people don't recognize when you think about Steph Curry and who he is. It ain't just his marksmanship. It's the fact that you need an oxygen mask. You probably got to be hospitalized and get some IV fluids or whatever, after games because this brother got you running around with your head on a swivel and you need to survive after you finish up with him. Well, getting Jimmy Butler energizes Steph Curry because Jimmy Butler stops the action because he's so skilled to get to the free throw line. So that buys Steph Curry some rest to re-energize himself and do what he's capable of doing. Then I'm looking at Golden State, fellas. Did y'all know that against like the top 4 teams in the Western Conference, they're like 7-4? I think they're 2-1 against OKC. They're 2-1 against the Grizzlies. They lost the 1 game they played against Denver, and they're 3-1 against the Rockets, who've nosedived over the last couple of weeks. So don't know what's going on in Houston. Got to look into that. But the bottom line is those are the top 4 teams in the Western Conference. Golden State is 7-4 against them. Now, Shannon, you can smile. This is for you. Every now and then, I like to give Christmas gifts.
Lakers cooking them.
You here against the Lakers and against the Clippers.
Yep.
The Warriors are 0-6 this season. 0-6 against the 2 LA teams. So I'm paying attention to that as well. But they didn't play them since they had Jimmy Butler. So we'll see what happens as time progresses. But based off of what Jimmy Butler said, I like the idea of Golden State creeping up from the 10th slot. They still think they got a chance at the top 6 to avoid the play-in. We'll see what happens, but I got my eyes on them.
I got my eyes on OKC. Stephen A., are they for real? Because we saw them last year, and they didn't get to where we thought they were going to go, and they've started out this year. Right now, Shai Gilgeous is the MVP. He's playing out of this world. Joker is hot on his tail, but I would give it to Shai right now. Are they legit? Are we sure? Are we 1,000% certain, Stephen A., that they are legit? Because we believe they were legit last year. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. The Dallas Mavericks nipped them. So for me, I want to see, is this 42? They're 44-10. Is this 44-10 record? They lost their last game right before the break. Are they for real? Do they really have the team? Or are they still 1 year away? Because last year you're like, they're probably 1 year away. Okay, so now this is the 1 year. Are we sure, Stephen A.? Are you sure? Do you feel really comfortable? Are you willing to put your 30-year NBA covering the NBA career on the line that says OKC is legit?
No. I think that they look legit. I believe in SGA. He was my MVP last year. He's my MVP now. But somehow, some way, UD, I'll give this to you by saying this. I think Sam Presti is one of the elite executives in the game. This man has put a roster together. But look at the players he's had over the years. The man still hasn't won a championship. I don't know if there's some black cat running around that franchise. I don't know what the hell is going on. But somehow, some way, they find a way not to get it done. So until they do, no, Shannon's right. I'm not going to put my money in it. But I'll put my money on SGA all day, every day. That brother's the real deal.
Hey, Shannon, I'm going to tell you this. When it comes down to OKC, I think everybody questioned the toughness. We all know they got the skill set. We all know they got the players. But in a 7-game series, you need toughness. Have they had those sleepless nights? Those nights where Boston lost to Golden State and they had to think about it all summer. Those nights where Boston lost to us in the bubble and they had to think about it all summer. See, those are things that drive you in the offseason, and those are things that I question, have OKC experienced those things yet? For me, I'm going to say the team that got the most to prove, I'm going to say Golden State because, yeah, Draymond did put that big-ass target on their back. But for me, it's the teams that are top of them. I'm looking at Houston. I'm looking at Memphis. I'm looking at OKC again. I'm looking at what OKC did. And yes, they did address toughness by going to get Hartenstein. They knew what their weaknesses were, and they addressed those in the summertime. I'm looking at the feel-good story of Memphis bouncing back after having a down year last year. What I will say is bringing in Jimmy Butler has freed up Steph tremendously. He is leading the league in field goals made since the trade. He is leading the league in points made, total points since the trade. He is leading the league in three-point field goals made since the trade. So this has unlocked Steph tremendously, but it ain't going to be enough. They are too far behind the 8 ball right now in the 10th spot. And I know everybody going to say, hey, you had a Miami Heat team that went to the finals in the 8th spot. That was a team of dogs. That was a team that had built that dog mentality all the way from the summer, driving up to the finals. You can't just create that dog mentality with 26 games left in the season. It don't work like that.
NBA